A couple of years ago, I had a business trip in New York City. So I live in State College, Pennsylvania. I decided to drive to New Jersey, catch a train to Manhattan, and I'd come back the same way, which is what I did. I got my train ticket, drove to New Jersey to a train station, went up by train to Penn Station, had my business meeting, very successful, came back to the train station. That evening, I had a dinner at 6 p.m. My train got back at 5 p.m., plenty of time. So I went out to get into my car. I'm looking for my car. I got my luggage in hand. Can't find my car. I go around the parking lot. Can't find my car. Go all the way around the extended parking lot. Can't find it anywhere. So I do what I often do when I'm frustrated in these types of situations. I called my wife, Stephanie. She had a lot of words of wisdom. I had a lot of words of curses about why there's nobody there to help, no signage. In the end, neither her words of wisdom nor my curses served much use. So I continued to go around the parking lot. And maybe we all feel that way sometimes. We're trying to do something. There's no one there to help. There's no signage saying, go this direction, and we're stuck. So I continue on. Now darkness starts to set in. And at this point, I'm falling into just a bit of a panic because I realize that if it gets dark, it's going to be a lot harder to find this car. So I continue to go around. Darkness is starting to set in. Can't find anything. I finally found a bus driver, and he said, why don't you talk to someone in that car over there? It's a police car. I go over to the police car. There's nobody in the car. Still nobody there to help. No signs pointing the way. Keep going around in circles with my luggage in hand. It's getting darker. Now the dinner's starting to come closer to being late. Finally, I don't know, maybe after my 15th lap around the parking lot, a woman came over to me and said, is everything okay? And I said, I can't find my car. And she said, are you sure it's on this side of the tracks? And that was a key moment. I hadn't realized that there was parking on both sides of the track. So I found the bridge to go to the other side of the track, went over, found my car right away. That key insight of knowing that there were two sides to the track was all I needed to know. Maybe we all have that at times too. There's just one or two key insights that can help us launch forward, but we don't know what they are. So that's a key part of why I started Molecular Processes a few years ago, to have these moments when your organization is trying to advance in the acceleration front, you're trying to do things, trying to get faster speeds and higher value, but you're missing a key insight that can help you launch forward. And that's what Molecular Processes is all about. And so in this set of videos, I want to point out a few ideas and maybe a little inspiration on how molecular processes can help to accelerate your innovation processes. So let me show a few key parts here. First, what is this all about? What am I trying to do? First, I want to go through what is the problem that we have. And I think a key problem is that we're not focused on high growth rates, and sometimes inertia sets into our company. The way we've always done things is like this, and they're not ready to change. Second is, what is the promise? And I think there are two key parts here. One is the pride of your unit and the morale. Everybody's happy when we're advancing products and moving things through. We're less happy when things get stuck in red tape and stuck in committees and things like that, when things are not moving through, or when they recycle back to our organization over and over again. At the same time, I think the other part of the promise is great profits. And I'm looking at increases in profitability of your innovation team by 50% or maybe even more. And we'll take a look at how that might be possible. A third piece that we'll discuss is the philosophy. What is the philosophy of molecular processes? How do we make this work? And what we're going to see is a process manufacturing approach to innovation that opens up a whole literature to our disposal and ways of analysis. And one of the places where I'll be looking for answers is a book that perhaps you've read by Goldratt called The Goal. And he'll have a lot of insights into how we can open up our innovation processes to higher speed and higher value. Next, we'll look at the processes that you use for your innovation, and with a focus on flow. How do we get things to flow through? And especially, what are those pieces that are causing bottlenecks in your flow? What are the constraints on the flow that are slowing you down? And finally, we will take a look at some practices that we might start with, including the few daily disciplines, sometimes just a few daily disciplines. If we can get better by 1% per day or even 0.1% per day, over the course of a year, that's an extensive amount of gain. So we're going to look at those daily disciplines that can make the difference between going up exponentially or going down exponentially. And we'll look at what can we focus on Monday morning to get this to move through. So this is the agenda for our work. I'm going to erase this right-hand side, but keep the other words up.